I see a red dot.
Okay, so we got it. We're ready to go.
Okay, this meeting is called to order. Tap, tap. The time is 6:06 p.m. It is Thursday, September 2nd, 2021. I'm Sarah Clendenning, President of Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council. With that, we're going to do roll call. Our secretary is not here, so I'm going to just run through roll call. Let's see. Clendenning, yes. Present. Vice President Wadsworth.
Present.
Fernandez Sanchez. No. Vince Montalvo.
Present.
Nancy Soto.
Present.
William Rodriguez Morrison. Not present. Betty Madera.
Here.
Didia DeLizer.
I'm here.
Yay. Richard Larson.
Present.
Okay. Annalie Har.
Here.
Melanie Belomo Shiflett.
Here.
Vicente Gonzalez Reyes. That's it. Right here. Armida Marufo. Armida. Victor Azevedo.
Present.
Diego Zapata.
Present.
Word. Gil Aravallo.
Here.
Richard Ortiz.
Yeah.
Steve Lucero.
Right here.
Lena Ruiz. Lena Ruiz? No? Not here. Selena Ortega. Oh wait, Selena gave me advance warning. She might not be able to make it, or she'll be coming late. Diana Tran. Diana Tran, youth rep. Oh wow, Diana's not here. Okay. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, exactly 14 people present. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 absent. 14 present, 7 absent.
We have quorum.
And we have quorum. But if we lose one person, we won't have quorum. So let's get through this agenda. All right, so we did roll call. Yeah, so for anybody that's new to this meeting, yeah, we are Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council, 21 board of residents and stakeholders. You might hear a little bit more from me, President, or Vince, the man behind the controls, because it's part of the EVG protocol for the internet Zoom meeting stuff. Our secretary will be in shortly. We're going to open it up to non-agenda public comments. Anybody wants to, from the public who wants to comment, please press *9 or raise your hand. You have 2 minutes to speak.
Okay, we got, we got Puppet.
All right, Puppet. Good evening. Puppet.
Where the hell is my mute? I unmuted you. No. Oh, I'm sorry. Come here. Ow! Oh, go ahead. All right. Yes, and thank you. I'm trying to get the technical assistance of humans, most unreliable animals around. So, we have an agenda filled with things that your council member doesn't like. And as we go later tonight, we're going to get to one of Goat Puppet's favorite topics, the Jazz Festival scandal. And that will be fun, but that'll be at the meeting. But unfortunately, tonight, Goat Puppet has other commitments. His services are needed in 2 areas involving the Valley. They've been acting very bad in the Valley, as they have over here. Uh-oh. That's the police. Uh-oh, what's going on? Yes, okay. So as you see, this meeting's already getting exciting. As Goat Puppet is trying to talk to you, while the police are taking and flashing him and putting helicopters over his car. So that means one of two things. One, Goat Puppet is fighting for the community, or two, Goat Puppet forgot to pay his DWP water bill. And that's what we have to do. And I also noticed that nobody from Gil Cedillo's office is agendized to talk to you. Isn't that kind of strange? All these other neighborhood councils, somebody comes. Yeah, that's strange.
All right.
So, you guys have went rogue, haven't you? Good. Keep up the good work.
Thank you,
Okay.
Puppet.
Puppet, thank you. Any other public callers, commenters? Please press
Yes.
star one.
Christina Carlos.
Christina?
Hello.
Hi, Christina.
Hello. Hi. I'm not sure. I know I've messaged the council a few times. I'm in the neighborhood on Broadway in Steve Caston's building, kind of kitty corner from CVS, where the accountant and where the Hollenbeck has their office. The Hollenbeck department has their office. So we've been in the community for about 3 years now, and we offer mostly services for women's health that have to do with prenatal and postpartum support for pregnant and new mothers, and childbirth, lactation. We have now our Chi-Chi Lounge, where we offer low-cost lactation consultations and support. But one of the other programs that we are right now, we got funded for our second year, but with COVID, it was really tricky, was through USC to offer diabetes prevention classes that are CDC approved, and our grant allows us to provide enhanced services for mostly women, but also for men, for anyone who qualifies for the program that has prediabetes and is at risk of diabetes. So if you have any, what I really would like to find out is how to be able to communicate in the best way, to be able to share like the posts, our flyers, everything's so virtual now. What would be the best way to be able to share the information about our lactation services and our DPP, our diabetes prevention program?
Thank you.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank
Sarah,
you.
Sarah, for the record, the Antran came in at 6:12.
All right. All righty. Thank you.
Okay, we got Lauren next.
All right, Lauren. Hello.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lauren Buisson, and I am on the neighboring Echo Park Neighborhood Council. At some point, we should all talk about forming a Northeast Alliance. However, what I'm here today for is to, on behalf of the LGBTQ plus Alliance of Los Angeles Neighborhood Councils. I'm the vice chair of that group, and I am here to request to be on a future agenda to tell you all about what the Alliance does. And in the meantime, if you haven't already, to encourage you to appoint at least 2 members of your neighborhood council to the Alliance. While we welcome anyone, we are particularly enthusiastic about having members of the LGBTQ family be appointed by you officially. It gives the group more, what's the word I want? Equity within the neighborhood alliance system, and it helps us to help you create a space that's welcoming for the gay members on your board and those who are most certainly gay in your community. So my name is Lauren Buisson. I'm here for the LGBTQ plus Alliance of Los Angeles Neighborhood Councils. We meet on the final Sunday of each month, and I urge you to agendize a presentation from us and to appoint 2 members to our body. Anybody's welcome to attend, but if you could do that, that would be fantastic. We're also going to be presenting at the Congress of Neighborhoods on recognizing and eliminating microaggressions. And this is part of the whole DEI initiative for the neighborhood councils, which, as I'm sure you know, we surely need.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you, Lauren. All right.
Okay, our next speaker is Jorge Rosado.
Hey. Hi. Hello, Jorge? All right.
Jorge?
Hello, hello. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can.
All right. Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon. I'm a resident here. I've lived here all my life in Lincoln Heights, and I'm right here in this little area called Happy Valley, right behind Lincoln High School. And I'm calling about this this one neighbor who recently bought some land out here, and he's been defacing the hill. His name is Nicolo Gobi. And I'm wondering if there will be time on the agenda today to discuss the issue, or if now is the time.
We could agendize it on another agenda, or we can all.
Okay, yeah, okay, got it. Okay, so it won't be today. All right, so just really quick, neighbor about the land right here. It's on a paper road. The guy's been coming through here. I live on a hillside. The hillside behind me. It's all upslope from my house to the back end of my property. And this guy's been coming through here and cutting the paper road so he could get his excavator up there. And he's been putting my family and my neighbor's family at risk with all the debris that's been coming down from up there. City Department of Building and Code has gotten involved and has shut him down because of what he was doing out there. And he's also weaponized his excavator and attacked the neighbors that are there in the area. So I just wanted to bring that to the attention and see if, I don't know what becomes of this and what to do next. This is my first time coming on here, and I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you.
You, Jorge. All right.
Our next one is Felipe.
Felipe?
Hello. Everybody. My name is Felipe Rodilla. I'm a program coordinator for Solid Enrichment Action, Intervention, and Victims of Crime. I'm just here to introduce myself. I know that I've known a lot of the older neighborhood council members, and now there's a lot of new members here in the neighborhood council. So I'm here just to introduce myself. And not only that, but I know that you guys supported us a few months ago with some finances, and we were able to do a backpack giveaway for the community. And because of your finances that you have approved, we were able to pass out over 250 backpacks to the community. We were able to get rent two ice cream, an ice cream cart, and we were able to pass out ice creams in the community. So I'm just here to thank you guys. And I noticed also that there was a CBO seat opening, and I applied for it. Just a heads up. But hopefully I could get in. But it's just here to introduce myself, and it's nice to see new faces here in the neighborhood council.
Thank you, Felipe. Our next speaker is Payan.
Roy? Hello? Roy Payan?
You're unmuting me, not that person.
Let me see. He's unmuted now. And then he muted himself again. Hold on. He has talking permitted. Payan, you just have to put on the hit the unmute button. I'll send it one more time.
I'm trying to unmute. I can't mute.
Okay, we hear you now.
I hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Hi, my name is Roy Payan, and I'm the vice president of Northeast Los Angeles Save Our Undeveloped Lands. And so I just want to ask all the board members, and if you can please send out an urgent plea to Council District 1 Councilman Gil Cedillo, to Supervisor Hilda Solis, and to State Senator Marielena Durazo to please help us save Paradise Hill. It was supposed to go up for auction tomorrow. We were able to save it and stave it off for one more month, but we're urging them to help us purchase this property using Prop 68 funds, as well as Measure A and Measure W. We want to restore the property and add some rainwater capture projects as well. as well as establishing a Native Indian Learning Center called LHNC, which would be the Los Angeles Native Center for Education. The property is scheduled to go up for auction in 1 month, and we're able to stave it off today so that we can hold off for 1 month. But I'm asking everybody, please urge your state senator, urge your county supervisor, and Council District 1 to please help us save this. We want to name this land the Sal Castro Park after Sal Castro, the teacher at Lincoln High School who started the 1968 Chicano movement walkouts. So again, I'm asking everybody to please do this. And if the neighborhood council could please put me on the agenda for your next board meeting so I can agendize this. I'll send you a statement as to what you should send to both the councilman and to the supervisor. I'd appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank you.
put Roy on next agenda. All right.
Joe,
I had a question for Roy.
there's no Q&A in the public comment section.
This isn't a Q&A. I just wanted to ask Roy a question on the bond. Who is selling it? Who claims to be
Richard,
the owner?
this is no Q&A, please. No back and forth.
Yeah, you can email Roy after this. Okay, so
Okay,
anyone?
we got Joe next.
Joe?
Yes, hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, I just wanted to say, Payan, that's amazing. I'm glad it was stopped. I'm here to second what my neighbor Jorge Rosado said previously. I actually live on the land that the new owner has bought, and he has been illegally trying to evict me using harassment, using deadly force. He assaulted me on the 23rd by pushing me and shoving and kicking in the door of my home. And worse, he's been excavating a road without a permit, which puts everybody in danger. So I'm asking the neighborhood council to bring some attention to this, and hopefully also not only the officials, but hopefully try to get the neighbors more involved and aware of what kind of damages this can do to our neighbors here in Happy Valley. Thank you.
Yeah. And Joe, for the record, that address, it would be like 2730 Sierra. Sierra and Pomona. Wait. Anyway, that's the area. Any other public comments?
No more public comment. I don't see any.
Okay, any public, should we just go to public announcements? Any community announcements? Anybody from the community wanted to make an announcement? You have 2 minutes to speak.
Okay, we got Puppet.
Hey, Puppet.
Yes, so again, have to remember that I just think that Gil Cedillo just needs to pay more attention to you guys. I think he needs to be nicer because I don't think he's listening to you, and I don't think the clerk is taking your CISs seriously. That's true. Yes, and finally, Goat Puppet was asked a question, and the answer was no, and well, the question was, should I donate to the office holder account? And I took a guess and said no. And the helicopters left and the police are there. So Goat Puppet will be okay now. So remember, do the right thing, get the right thing. And if Goat Puppet would have donated to the office holder account, of course, he would have gotten a free police escort home down the 405 and would have got home an hour earlier. Yes, living in LA. When you don't pay to play, things are a lot harder.
All right, Puppet. Any other public announcements?
I don't see any.
Okay.
Oh, one, hold on. Jose?
Okay.
Hi, this is Jose from the Department of Neighborhood Department. Wasn't sure where to make my comments. So I just want to introduce myself to the board. Again, I'll be the NEA that I'll be covering for after Jackie. So just wanted to make sure that I introduce myself. I've been with the department for quite some years already. I've been working with the Valley team before, and then from there is transitioned over with the Mike's team, which is the central and east areas for the neighbor councils. Also, I've been part of the elections team, admin team, outreach in the past within the department. So familiar with a lot of the functions of the department. If any neighbor council board members, feel free to reach out to me. My email is jose.galvez@lahcd.org. It can be reached if you have any questions. Also, just briefly on the department's updates, if I may. So there's the Empowerment Congress that will be taking place on September 25th. Please be sure to save the date, register by going to, you can go to empowerly.org under alliances, and in there we have the link towards the Congress site, the new site, which you can register for the event. Also, just note that the event will be from 8 a.m. to 3:45 p.m. It's going to be an all-day event. There's going to be several sessions taking place throughout the day virtually. So this is welcome to all stakeholders as well. It's not just board members. For any stakeholders interested in learning about the neighborhood apartment system and also other sessions that take place, this is pretty informative as well. Also for neighbor council board members, please be aware that the department will be making updates to your Cornerstone username and passwords. You'll be receiving an email with with your new username and temporary password, which then you'll be able to just log into the Cornerstone and then change the password to something that's more stronger. Also, it's just a way for the department to be able to track easily the trainings in the back end and such. So again, just be aware of that the email is going to be going out to all board members regarding the change on the Cornerstone. Also, just to touch base on some other upcoming sessions, there is a general plan housing and safety hearing that's going to be happening in September 21st and 22nd. I'll be emailing the board the information. Again, this is an opportunity to give public comment on draft 2021-2029 housing element. Is also the city is also soliciting comments on the targeted update to the safety element and amendments to the health and wellness element or the plan for healthy LA. So if anyone's interested, please attend those sessions. I'll provide the board the information they can share as well, or you can also visit also the city planning.lhcd.org site where you can pull up that information as well in regards to their upcoming elements updates that they'll have.
Thank you, Jose. Are there any other more?
Yes, we have an. Thank you, Jose.
Thank you.
Get that, and then next is Johnny.
Johnny. Hello, Johnny.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Hi, I want to introduce myself. My name is Johnny Gursky. I am the Vice President of Alley 32 Neighborhood Council. I am getting into your meeting to see how you guys operate. This one person that is coming up and his name was Puppet, he's going around to neighborhood councils and playing games with us and wasting our time. Please, he did it to us already at neighborhood council. Don't react to him. He's got the right to say what he has to say because he's going around suing neighborhood councils. This person's been doing that to another neighborhood councils, and I guess it's your turn. Just be aware of with that guy. That guy. Just be aware of that situation. Thank you very much. That's all I have to say.
All right, Johnny. Any other public announcements?
Felipe.
Felipe?
Sorry, it's me again. Is this for community announcements, events?
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. I just wanted to share real quick that on September the 18th, we're going to be, SAIL is going to be collaborating with Healing Urban Barrios and Arroyo Vista Clinic We're going to be doing a pop-up vaccination clinic resource fair. If anybody's interested in showing up, posting up, we will be at 161 South Avenue 24, my bad, 161 South Avenue 24 from 11 o'clock in the morning to 3 p.m. There's going to be food provided for the first 100 people that to get vaccinated. It's going to be a collaboration event, and I just wanted to throw the invitation out here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public announcements?
Puppet.
Okay. Wait, I think you already did a public.
Yes, so it's very good. So apparently somebody named Johnny says a goat puppet is suing neighborhood councils. What? Yeah. Is that true? Shit, I didn't hear anything about that. Have you been? No, I didn't sue any neighborhood councils. I didn't do that. No. Did Anthony Sciersey sue the West Hills Neighborhood Council as a board member? I think, oh yeah, that happened. Oh, so in other words, we have a board member going to this meeting from another board to say that somebody here's causing a problem, when in fact it was a board member suing 4 other fellow board members, and the city attorney still hasn't provided them with a lawyer. Oh, that's what it is. No, that's okay. Just remember, everybody, if and the guy from Dunn can answer this question, if you get sued and you're a board member, do you get a lawyer? No. So remember, everybody, Jacoby and Myers for all of your legal needs. Thank you. No, thank you, sir. And
Any other public announcement?
There's no more.
All right. So we'll move to board member announcements. Any board member announcements?
I don't see any.
All right, so let's move on to the agenda here. So we'll move on to, we have committee announcements, but I don't think we have any updates for any committees because there have been no meetings. So, but should we just run through that real quick? Planning and Land Use has no announcements. Gil Cedillo, public programs and services. Do you have any announcements?
No announcements at this time. Thank you.
All right. Outreach committee, do you have any announcements? That would be Anna Lee. Do you have any announcements about the outreach? All right, Anna Lee's not there. What are the other committees?
Christmas committee.
Christmas parade committee, holiday parade committee. Do you have any announcements? That would be Richard.
No announcements at this time. Thank you.
Oh, okay. No, okay. What are other committees? Am I missing any?
None that are meeting right now that haven't stopped.
Okay. Yeah, nobody's met. Okay, so we're going to move on to funding agenda items. Item A under funding agenda item.
I think Deanne Tran had her hand up for the community announcements.
Oh, do you have a community announcements?
No, I actually have a question. I remember last meeting we had 2 things that were cut from the agenda because it was just going on till late. Are they on this one? Because I was looking through it, I don't see the ones on this one.
That one's not on this agenda because the council file isn't, like the ones on the agenda are ones that are going to come up for a hearing sooner. So I'm kind of just mixing it up, but that one will be on the next agenda.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you so much. I was just wondering.
To work on that one. All right. So funding agenda item A, discussion and possible motion to approve the May, June, and July MERs. MER is a monthly expenditure report. Vince, take it away.
Okay, just to remind everyone, these are funding items. So we're gonna do them individually. I'm gonna bring up the MER for May, and we don't have much on it, so it'll be painless. Here, in a second, I'll share it on the screen. Can everyone see it?
Yep.
Okay. To just go down the list, this was the last MER that we did in May with all the grants going out. I wasn't treasurer at the time with it, so I don't have all the packets, but they are listed up in the city. And so according to all our paperwork here, let me see. We have some, give me 1 second. For some reason it's stopped. Okay. It doesn't have. 1 second. I may have to put foil in my head. The internet's slow.
Mm.
Oh,
And
now-
we have to vote independent. Can we vote to approve all of them at the same time, or do we have to do each one individually?
No, each one has to be individual because of the. Give me 1 second. Let me just reopen it again.
What is that audio? Is somebody's thing playing?
Yeah, if board members can mute themselves, because the public's muted, if the board members can just mute themselves. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just go down the list of what was spent at the time. Since this wasn't one that I did myself, but we had $578 in storage fees. We had an additional $289 in storage fees for the months for May 14th that was paid. We had an in the mail room. This was an outreach expense at $465. The MPG grant to Soledad Enrichment Action was for $1,500, bringing a grand total for $2,832. Our outstanding expenditures was the Lincoln Heights Board for grants for $2,000. Healing Urban Barrios also got a grant for $2,000. Northeast Trees received a grant for $5,000. Operation Street Kids received a grant for $4,500. Lincoln Heights Tutorial Program received a grant for $5,000, and Lincoln Heights School Football Booster Club received a $5,000 grant, bringing a grand total to $23,500. So what we're doing today is just basically approving all the expenditures for the months of May, which closed out our 2020-2021 fiscal year. So if anybody has any questions on these, I like to make a motion to approve the monthly expenditure for May 2021 budget fiscal year 2020-21.
Second.
Okay, Ben seconds. Is there any board discussion?
Board discussion? Seeing none. Any community discussion?
Yeah. Sarah, can you see it on your end? Because when I'm sharing the screen, I can't see all the
Yeah, I
whole.
can see it on your, I can see the picture.
Okay.
First page.
Just to make sure on it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, any public discussion on this item of our old budget, old monthly expenditure report from May?
Yeah, this is for the approval of the monthly expenditure for May 2021.
Yeah.
So I don't see any.
So with that, we'll take it to.
Okay, this is a roll call vote, and it's one by one. So we'll go down the list. It's a simple yes or no, abstention, absent, ineligible, recusal. Sarah?
Aye.
Okay, Ben?
Yes.
Fernanda Sanchez?
Yes.
Okay, Fernanda's here now. Thank you, Fernanda. Vincent Montalvo, yes. Nancy Soto?
Yes.
Thank you. William Morris? Absent. Annie Madera?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm gonna get this one right. Didia?
Yeah.
Thank you, Didia DeLizer, and thanks everyone for please muting yourself when you're not speaking. Somebody's got audio on in the background and it's hard for the rest of us to hear. Thank you.
Thank you. Deanna Tran?
Recusal.
Richard Larson,
No.
thank you. Anna Lee,
Yes.
thank you. Melanie,
Yes.
thank you. Vicente Gonzalez, absent. Armida Murufio, absent. Victor,
Yes.
thank you. Diego,
Yes.
thank you. Gil,
Yes.
thank you. Richard Ortiz,
Yes.
thank you. Steve,
Yes.
Lena,
Absent.
okay, absent.
Mhm.
Okay, and Selena Ortega,
She should be here.
absent.
Okay, absent. Okay.
Okay, so motion approves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 14. It's 14 yes. Oops, excuse me. 14 yes, 1 no, 0 abstentions, and 5 absent, and 1 recusal.
All right. Motion carries.
Okay, let me close this.
Nate is approved.
Okay, so let me bring up June's NPG. Give me 1 second. So we're doing the same process here with June's. I'll give everyone a little bit of time just to review it because I think it's a 1-pager. Yeah, it's a one. Oh no, it's not. Okay, so we'll go through it the same way we went through the other one. The monthly cash flow analysis was $10,552.04. We had a community improvement project of $1,200. We had a neighborhood purpose grant of $4,500 that left $832.30. The expenditures that were from the May's budget that hadn't been penned out yet, or they were pending at the time. The checks were, from what I understand about all of these, when I researched them, all the checks were out, I think, except for the Lincoln Heights one, but it might be a error on the city clerk side. But Urban Healing Barrios, 2,000. Lincoln Heights Tutorial Program, 5,000. Abraham Lincoln High School, 2,000. Northeast Trees, 5,000. Lincoln Heights Football Booster Club, 5,000, for a total of $19,000. We had Operation Street Kids with the $4,500, and the outstanding expenditure, I think it's this one. The Operation Street Kids was the one that I don't know if the check had been sent out or picked up yet. So I'm still looking into it. Even if it's not this money, if it's not picked up, goes back to the city.
Okay.
Okay, these are the applications. And so most of this stuff, I'll just skim through it because I think we all seen these before we voted on them. But all of these, they're up on our website for review. The application, the internal revenue, the IRS, EIN numbers, all of our voting. Okay, so I'll leave these. They're up on the website for anybody that wants to see the applications.
All right.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to approve June 2021's monthly expenditure for budget fiscal year 2020-2021.
Second.
Okay, Ben seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Board member comment. Richard Ortiz.
Oh, I was gonna say, I believe it's Gilbert with his mic still on. That's my comment. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear you. You sound far away. I don't know if any of the other board members are having that issue. I couldn't hear you too good.
Okay.
Okay, Victor.
Yes, I just had a question. What was the community improvement project? What was that? The 1200?
Let me see. It came out as a neighborhood community improvement project.
That's before our time.
No, it wasn't 12. Sorry about that. I misread on it. It was 0. It was an unspent balance that we had on the budget. On the net, it was netted at 12, and then we spent. I guess they took some of the money out of the neighborhood purpose grant, and then it was 4,500, and then we had net left over $832.30.
Oh, gotcha. Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Let me see.
Any other board member comments on this?
Yeah, Melanie.
Richard Ortiz was saying, we think it maybe Gil Aravalo's microphone is the one that's on where we're getting all the extra background noise. Maybe Gil, I'm not sure if you know, but maybe you can mute it.
Okay, I could mute them.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Any other board member comments on this MER? No?
None?
Okay, so we'll take it to the public. Any public comments on this MER from June 2021 monthly expenditure report? Any? No?
I don't see any.
With that, we'll take it for a vote.
Okay, same process. I'm going to go one by one on it. This is for the approval of the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council monthly expenditure for June 2021. Sarah?
Aye.
Ben?
Yes.
Fernanda?
Yes.
Vincent Montalvo, yes. Nancy?
Yes.
William Morris? Absent. Benny Madera?
Yes.
Delilah?
Do you mean Didia?
Didi, I'm so sorry.
It's not a problem, yes.
Didi, okay. Deanna?
Recusal.
Okay, recusal. Richard Larson?
Yes.
Anna Lee?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
Vicente?
Absent.
Absent. Armida? Absent. Victor?
Yes.
Diego?
Yes.
Gil?
Gilbert?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. All right.
Richard Ortiz?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Lena?
Absent.
Absent. And Selena Ortega? Absent. It's 15 yes, 0 no's, 0 abstain, 5 absent, 0 ineligibles, and 1 recusal. Motion passes.
Oh, wait, can I change mine to ineligible? I did not hear ineligible. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah, on the previous vote too, because I'm, a minor.
Okay, it's changed. So now we have, what changes is we have 1 and ineligible, and then 0 recusal. And let the last record reflect the same.
All right. Motion carries.
Okay, I'm gonna bring up the last MER, which is the MER for July.
July 2021.
Okay. Yeah, this is the one pager. So. So the July one, you notice that we didn't have on the top. We only have the balance that we get every year, which is 32,000. But we do have our $10,000 carryover. So as soon as they process the paperwork and we send in our budget, what we're gonna have today, and I'll explain a little bit more in the next item, is we're gonna get a $10,000 rollover mark on it. And so we had a budget, even though it's not in our MER, we do have the 10,000 rollover. It'll give us a total of $42,000 for the budget fiscal year 21-22. So right now, currently, for the month of July, we have no expenditures on record and no outstanding balance on it. And so, and the city clerk has been taking care. And this will reflect the August MER. We did pay our public storage, and I will be able to pay it on my own next year once we put it into my name, and then we shouldn't have any more problems with late payments on it. So,
right.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve July 2021's monthly expenditure report, budget fiscal year 2021-2022.
Second.
Ben seconds. Board member comment? I don't see any. Sarah, do you see any?
No.
Okay, we'll close board member comment and open up for public comment.
Any public commentators?
I don't see any.
Seeing none, we're gonna move for a vote now.
I'll roll down the vote again. Same process, everyone. Sarah?
Aye.
Ben?
Yes.
Fernanda?
Yes.
Vincent Montalvo? Yes. Nancy?
Yes.
William Morris? Absent. Benny?
Yes.
I'll say the name, but I'm going to torture it. I know it is. Didia.
You got it right. Thank you
man.
so much.
That was out of fear. Deanna?
Ineligible.
Thank you. Oh, man, I'm sweating behind here. Richard Larson?
Recuse.
Thank you. Anna Lee?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
Vicente Gonzalez? Absent. Armida? Absent. Victor?
Yes.
Diego?
Yep.
Gil?
Yes.
Richard Ortiz?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Lena? Absent. And Selena Ortega? Absent.
Right.
Let me just do tallies real fast. It's 14 yes, 0 no's, 0 abstain. There's 5 absence, 1 ineligible, and 1 recusal. Motion passes.
Ooh, motion passes. Or one tap, sorry. Right, next we move on to funding agenda item B. Discussion and possible motion to reapprove 2021 to 2022 budget with $10,000 rollover.
Okay, let me just drop the agenda packet. Okay, so in our last month's meeting, we approved the packet at 32,000, and with the guarantee of the 10,000 rollover coming in as soon as we get this document into the city, None of the information is changing as far as the treasurer, which is myself, Fernanda being the second signature, I being the bank card holder, Fernanda Sanchez being the second card holder and signature, and I was first bank card holder. Our budget remains the same. The only thing that changed on this budget was on rollovers. On our last month, we had 0. If you notice there now, there's 10,000. Our total annual budget is 42. There were no edits on the office operation expenditure category. It's still the same, with 2,000 for public storage, 3,000 for minute taker, 3,000 for translation, and 1,000 for printing. Just a note on the translation, any money that we spend out of this $3,000, the city has a $50,000 budget that will reimburse us. So this money, if we look at it, may be used for a project or an expenditure in the future, since translation is being refunded to us as long as we make it before the 50,000 is done. So the total for that was 9,000. We had outreach expenditure category. Nothing has been edited in this section. We still have the 3,000 for printing, 1,000 for banners, outreach promotional handouts 4,000, outreach mailer postcard 2,000, for a total for our outreach expenditures of 10,000. We don't have anything for our election expenditure category. It's 0. Our neighborhood purpose grant, this is where the $10,000 rolled in, and this is where the edit was done. Originally, we had $8,000 in the MPG account, which is our neighborhood purpose grant. We now have $10,000. The $10,000 rollover automatically goes into the neighborhood purpose grant. But just a note to the board members, we're approving the budget as is today, but at any point in time in the future, the finance committee can alter this budget at any time. So we can move these numbers around and add money to areas that we think we need, like in community improvements or outreach. But currently right now, that money will sit in the neighborhood purpose grant for 18,000. Our next category was community improvement projects. We have 5,000. That hasn't been changed or edited. The total annual budget allocations is for operations, office and operation expenditures is 9,000. Outreach expenditures is 10. Election expenditures is 0. General and operation expenditures total is 19,000. Neighborhood purpose grants is 18,000. Community improvement projects is 5, for a total amount of $42,000. And that's our budget for the 2021-2022 fiscal budget for Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the budget as written. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. So let's open it up to board member comment. Victor?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, just for a point of clarification, Jose, he put a comment that recusals are done before discussion and board action, just for any board member that's going to be recusing themselves.
Okay. Oh yeah, I just seen it in my notes. Okay, noted. Thank you, Victor. Richard Larson?
Yeah, I just want to say that a couple of things. I don't recall that we ever had this procedure in the past regarding changing funding. We had an NEA going back to 2019 who had us vote by hand and voice on every single item that was a subset of any expenditure. And also, I don't recall us spending $19,000 on operational expenses before.
Thank you.
Any other board member comments? Seeing none?
Okay, I don't see any.
Okay, any public comments? Raise your hand.
I don't see any in the public.
Okay, so then we're gonna take it for a vote. We have a first,
Okay.
second, yeah.
Let me see. Give me 1 second.
Nice sunset.
Okay, so just to read the motion again on what we're voting on, it's the approval of our 2021 Lincoln Heights budget packet for fiscal year 2021-2022 with the $10,000 rollover into MPGs. Okay, Sarah?
Aye.
Ben?
Yes.
Fernanda?
Yes.
Vincent Montalvo, yes. Nancy?
Yes.
William Morris, absent. Benny?
Yes.
Didia?
Yes.
Oh. Deanna Tran?
Ineligible.
Okay, thank you. Richard Larson?
No.
Anna Lee?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
Vicente Gonzalez? Absent. Armida? Absent. Victor?
Yes.
Thank you. Diego?
Yes.
Thank you. Gil?
Yes.
Thank you. Richard Ortiz?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Lena? Absent. And Selena Ortega, absent. It's 14 yes, 1 no, 0 abstain, 5 absent, 1 ineligible, and 0 recusal. Motion passes.
Motion carries. All right. Thank you, everybody, for doing that budget. Okay, next we move on to new agenda items. New agenda item A, announcement of 4 open LHNC positions as of September 2nd, 2021. The 4 positions are business representative, community-based organization representative, area 4 resident representative, and area 7 resident representative. So in our supporting documents on our website, under agenda, we have the maps and a list of the duties of those positions for all to see. Okay, there was no action on that item, so I'll just move to B. Discussion and, okay, B, discussion and possible action on the creation of a dedicated LHNC YouTube channel for outreach. This will include videos of meetings and events. So we're gonna make the meetings available to the public. That's it. Should I make a motion? Can I?
Yeah, I'd make a motion.
Okay,
I'll make the motion to on new agenda items B for creation of Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council YouTube channel for outreach.
for a second.
I'll second that.
All right. Board discussion.
We have Victor.
Victor.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Will we need some type of release for people, for the public to come out on video or audio on YouTube? Some type of like, I don't know, some release that they're able to come out, or is it just public?
It's public. It falls under the Brown Act. Any public meeting, even now, can be recorded and placed out. So
Falls under this PRA.
yeah, it falls under Brown Act. Yeah, anything can be. It has to be made public. So our account for the YouTube can't be restrictive. It has to be completely open.
Got it. Thank you for the clarification.
Sure. All right, any other board member comments, discussion? No?
None.
Okay, any public comments? On YouTube channel?
I don't see any public comment.
Okay, seeing none, we'll take it
Oh,
for.
hold on, we have a board member comment. I think Deanna Tran.
Yeah, who's gonna be running it?
Outreach committee. It's just for videos of the meetings, and then outreach committee will put the outreach videos on it.
We have Benny.
Yeah, I'm just curious, are there other neighborhood councils that have done this or are doing this?
LA City Council does this.
Okay, thank you.
We have Gilbert.
Yes, does this cost us any? I'm totally unfamiliar with social media, so I don't know if it costs or anything.
No, it's free.
No cost.
The other board member comments?
Yeah, that was just board member. There were no public comments or anything. Victor.
Sorry, just for Gilbert, I guess the cost would only be if we had video equipment, right? We're just going to be using our cell phones to record. Is that correct?
I mean, this is for Zoom archive of our meetings, first and foremost. And the second, the secondary thing would be the outreach committee, like just documentation of events. But
Oh, I got it. Thank you.
And Victor, our meetings right now, like on Zoom, are being recorded, so they can be uploaded to the YouTube channel.
Yep. All right. So
we have one more, Richard Larson.
Yeah, I would like something added to this motion to amend it to say that it will not be monetized, and also that the password and the accessibility for this channel will belong to the ongoing council members, whomever they may be, the ongoing chair of the outreach committee or the president. But if it's going to be a repository of Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council meetings, then it should be accessible to all future councils. Yep. And it should never be monetized. So can we I'm offering a motion to amend this motion to add the words "which will never be monetized and will remain accessible to all future councils."
Okay, let me say, will never be monetized. Okay. Mm-hmm. Do we have a second? Do we do that way?
And I think on one thing we can work on, because even in the motion it wouldn't be that strong. There have been issues in the past with social media accounts. I think the best place to put it in the near future, and it should be when we do the bylaws committee, but also our standing rule, it should be part of our standing rules on the process of social media. The data social media packet was put out, so Bonk had put out a long list of do's and don'ts. But I think in our, to make it more solid, I think it should be in our standing committees on what we do with our social media.
I mean, we can put the videos on our website. It's just that the files are kind of big. We already have one on there.
Yeah.
So, also, there are dupe LHNC accounts. There's already one from a couple years ago. We have a Twitter that's like defunct. We have a dupe like Instagram. We've got there's a YouTube that exists with all the 5 lots meetings. So I don't know who has the passwords for those, whatever. But we just need to get, I want to make these, or we should make the videos publicly available.
I think the only thing we could put on there to add on right now that we have within our powers is to say no monetization on it. And then we got to work out the details on a standing rule.
Okay. Sounds good. So we have a second on Richard's.
I second Richard's amendment.
Okay, we have a second. Do we have to go to a discussion again, Vince?
No, we could take it to a vote.
Okay, so we'll take it to a vote now. Can you read the motion with Richard's amendment, Vince?
The motion is to create a YouTube channel for Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council with the amendment of no monetization, and that's it for right now. I think the other one was to put it in the standing rule.
Well, that wasn't the motion that I offered. I just offered that it would be not monetized and that it would be accessible to all future councils.
Okay, so let's add that in, and then we'll work it out in the standing rules.
Thank you.
So the motion is to create the YouTube channel for Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council, do not allow it to be monetized, and that a future council should have access to it.
Okay, so we'll take it for a vote now.
Let me just check. We had one. Oh, yeah. I'm just gonna let just for the record right now, Selena's coming in at 7:11.
7-11. All right.
We can take it to a vote now, Sarah.
All right. Do you want to go down the list?
I can go down the list.
Okay.
I have one here. Okay.
Oh, you were just doing funding before. My bad.
Yeah, I can go down the road.
I mean, I have a list here
Okay, Fernandez here. If Fernanda can do it, it's better the secretary.
for sure.
All right, Fernanda, take it.
Sarah,
I.
Ben, Ben,
Yes.
Fernanda, yes. Chente,
Yes.
Nancy,
Yes.
Benny,
Yes.
Didia,
Yes.
Diana,
Yes.
Richard Larson,
Yes.
Annalee,
Yes.
Mel,
Yes.
Victor,
Yes.
Diego,
Yes.
Gil,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Selena,
Abstain.
at 16 yes, 1 abstain, motion carries.
All right, motion carries. All right. We'll move on to the next item now. That next item is, now we have a really dense supplementary document online. Short document. Okay, discussion and possible action on acquisition of keys / access to 3516 North Broadway. That's the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council physical space across from Lincoln High School. Just inquiry into the status of the city lease with the General Services Division, GSD, for we split this space with, well, right now it's Soledad Enrichment Action, but the lease is maybe expired. So I have all those leases in the thing. Regardless, historically the space, I think it was like 2 1,600 square foot spaces, and then they split it in half. So it's actually, we split a 1,600 square foot space in half with 800 each. So in any case, we need to acquire the keys, and we need to figure out the lease. So I don't know if this is an action item, but Vince?
Yeah, I mean, I think this would be a letter for us to contact and find out.
Okay.
We have Richard Larson.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you. I'm curious what the foundation of this is, getting keys and so forth. But the other question is, what's being proposed for? What are you proposing to happen to Soledad Enrichment?
Oh, it's not really about what's going to happen to them. I mean, I've done a lot of research on the space and historically what it was used for. Mural programs, big sister programs, all this stuff. Soledad Enrichment's there. I mean, it's that, you know, we're going through COVID. I know that they had a 3-year lease with 2 1-year, they could renew it one more year thing. So it's like a total of 5 years max. And that was in 2017. So I'm just curious as to the status, and we need access to that building as a neighborhood council. That's our building.
Follow-up question. We actually have access to that building now in the office that's there, which has a lock on it. I don't understand the foundation of this thing. It mentions keys and you know, more or less implies we're taking over the building, and I just don't get this motion at all. I think it's improper.
I mean, it's not an attack on anybody. It's that there's a lease. Okay, so it's that the building is split half with Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council and CD1, they have half of the space, and the other half is leased to sold-out enrichment action. Before it was leased to Aztecs Rising. Before that, it was another entity. There's actually like, it was only until kind of recently that they homogenized the space into some, you know, and then they made the Lincoln Heights Resource Center. Regardless, we have half of that space. And I'm not saying divide it in half. I'm saying that we need access to the space for programming, for thinking, whatever. It's a space that's not being used that has a huge outdoor backspace. So should we just let it sit there not being used?
Well, that the space in back is a parking lot, and it's closed and locked during certain hours and so forth. I don't understand the distinction between what this motion proposes and what we already have.
We need the keys, and we need to find the status of the current tenant, because that's just par for the course. I don't know if you've read the supplementary documents, but they will frame it for you, frame the situation for you. In any case, this is not an action item, really, Vince, right?
No, I think we should write, because I think what we're searching for is clarity.
Yeah.
Where we belong in there, where do they belong, what the future contracts are. And we do need access, because even in our standing committees, we should have a rule on who has access to that room and who has access to the keys. There's a lot of security things that we have to think about when we put those things in responsibility. So yeah, definitely. It's just a search document to find, or a question or an email to find out where the boundaries are and what the contract is, and can we get our keys to figure out what we can utilize the space for. That's our portion.
Yeah, I mean, like Art Snyder got the building in 1981 and then kind of renovated it and had a youth, a mural program, like a Chicano mural program, and then like a big sisters in there to mentor young women. It's had different programs in there, and they utilized the entire space. They were out in the back, they were all over the place. It's only until now it became more formal and rigid as a space for a nonprofit. In any case, it's a community space. We are the council. It's in our neighborhood. I don't know.
We have Gilbert.
Yeah. No.
Okay, in regards to that, just for your information, SEA does have the master lease to that. Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council and CD1 has an office there. It's the office is only like 5 by 8. It's to SEA's discretion of what they do with the rest of their property that is there. I'm in possession of the keys, and so like Richard says, we don't know what this is. This has been ongoing for a long time. All the committees just have to make a request to, of course, not in the pandemic area, but when they did have meetings, make a request to have it opened so they can conduct a meeting, and it's closed afterward. There's a security system. So it's like Richard says, it sounds like they're making a big thing out of something that's established and everything.
I just suggest that you read the lease. All right, so with that, there's no action on that item, right? So we don't have to do an action on the letter.
No, but I would recommend Sarah to follow up, and then now that we have access to that we have the keys, I think we do have to establish what it is. After reading those documents, yeah, it doesn't, from what I'm hearing, it doesn't, that's what's stated on the lease.
That's not what the
So that's, yeah, we definitely got to get in. That's what we're looking for, our boundaries in there. If it happens to be that, we'll honor it. But if it doesn't, then we have to fix it.
All right. So, and then, okay, so then I guess we'll move on to the next item.
Don't we have to table that?
Not table, continue.
Continue? I don't know what that means.
It can be continued to a future agenda until we get a...
That's a tabling.
I never heard of that, the word continue used in regards to a motion.
Hold on, Jose, it's just for clarification, but it's also for education of the board. Let me just unmute Jose right now, because I know he'll... Okay.
Hi, yeah, so that'll be just to table the item to the next meeting. or have it as a standing item for the board.
Okay. So it'll be a future agenda item.
Mm-hmm.
Once Sarah gets communication, I guess, from the agency that's taking care of it.
Right. Okay, so with that, we'll move on to the next item. Okay, so D, discussion and possible action on letter to city clerk and city attorney regarding the city clerk failing to upload Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council's community impact statements to the CFMS council file management system for inclusion on LA City Council case file. All right, yeah, we've submitted many CIS in the past few months. There are 4 outstanding CIS. I don't know what my list is, but 4 community impact statements. The CF1314, the TOC revision, Cedillo, the William Meadham's CIS, the CIS for this bar, El Recreo Room, and then the San Antonio Wineries banners CIS. I've uploaded it about twice, and I have the confirmation emails, and they still won't post to the council file, the actual council files, especially the TOC revisions one that was back in June that we posted that. In any case, the letter's just an inquiry as to like what's, is it a robot that uploads these? Is it a human? I don't know. I think it's a real person at NC support. So,
Fernanda?
Yeah, I mean, I think these community impact statements are pretty significant. I'm going to take the opportunity that we have Jose here. Maybe he can offer some insight as to why these community impact statements aren't being uploaded, or like what can be done to get them uploaded.
Yeah. Hi, this is Jose. So in regards to the community impact statements, not uploading or actually going through the system, I'm not quite sure what the issue would be. I just know that with my previous other neighborhood councils, some of them, they've come across in the past couple of months, some issues where it just got delayed. It took some time for it to post. So I can follow up with the actual team of who leads on the community impact statement portal, who might know more about this, and just check in and follow up with the board if there's an issue that's going on or what experiences that you're coming forth. If you can also email me the council file numbers or the council file numbers that you submitted to. That way we can see if it can be tracked on the portal.
They're all in this letter. So yeah, no problem. Any
So what I would do is I'd approve this. I'd make a motion to approve the letter. This is going to the city clerk's office, but I would recommend that it also goes to the Empower LA rep.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then also to city planning.
Okay.
We're on the east, I think the East Side Commission or East Commission. I don't know the teams for each of them because I know they're assigned different contacts, but try to find out so we can send it all them just to notify them while Jose takes it back and tries to get an answer for us. So just with those amendments on there, I make a motion to approve the letter for the community impact statement. And this one's going to the city, the city clerk. Okay, so the letter to the city clerk on the community impact statement and city attorney for Lincoln Heights community impact updates to CFMS system.
Second.
Okay, Ben seconds.
Any board member comments?
I don't see any.
No board member comments. Any public comments?
Don't see any.
All right, so we'll take it for a vote.
I had a question. I'm wondering, on the letter, we're using the seal of the City of Los Angeles. Is there a reason why we don't have our own seal on that letter?
I just didn't put it on there because it doesn't fit. Because we have to put the board members' names on there. thousands of versions of this letter.
Can I take the vote?
All right, let's take the vote.
Sarah?
Yes.
Ben?
Yes.
Fernanda, yes. Chante?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Benny?
Yes.
Didia?
Yes.
Diana?
Yes.
Richard? Larson?
Yes.
Annalee?
Yes.
Mel?
Yes.
Victor?
Yes.
Diego?
Yes.
Gil?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Selena?
Yes.
Richard Ortiz?
Yes.
It's unanimous, motion carries.
Motion carries. Letter will be submitted to city planner, or city clerk. All right, so on to the next item. All right, so we have, okay, so item E, announcement regarding Avenue 34 DTSC soil testing update at 141 West Avenue 34.
We have a presenter, right?
Is anybody on here? Let's see. Okay, so Jessica wasn't available. Let's see. Participants, is Michael here?
Yes.
Okay, Michael.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hi. So just as background, this is a huge 5-acre, 468 unit apartment complex at Avenue 34 and Pasadena Avenue in Lincoln Heights. And the developers build this as luxury apartments until they saw the backlash from our community. Then they removed that wording from their website. The city approved it without any public hearings. Neighbors appealed the approval to the City Planning Commission, and hundreds of our neighbors came out to that hearing, objecting on issues of gentrification and also the environmental review, which ignored a history of contamination on this block, including from industrial dry cleaning across the street from Hillside Elementary School. We've also filed an appeal under the California Environmental Quality Act, which the City Council is ignoring. So the developers lied to us at the Neighborhood Council as far back as early 2020, saying that the site was clean and they tested it, but they never had. And they repeated that lie at Neighborhood Council meetings, at community meetings, in letters to neighbors, and at the City Planning Commission hearings. After our appeal, they were compelled to involve DTSC, which is a city law requirement that they had avoided. And after our appeal, they were compelled to do that. They tried to get around this by asking DTSC to write a short letter about Welch's, the dry cleaning site. They said it was needed to satisfy a city requirement, so we know they intended for that letter to be used in place of any testing at all. We objected to that, and now DTSC is finally involved. So they conducted a very brief testing back in May, which found very high levels of PCE and TCE vapor, as about 18,000 times higher than the screening limit for residential housing, plus dozens of other toxic contaminants. They found chromium, mercury, arsenic. Most of the really high numbers and toxic stuff they found in that test was vapors, and they reported that the soil was only very low levels of contamination, but they had only tested 6 inches below the surface for the soil. So they were unlikely to find very high levels. Apparently, the developers fired those environmental consultants, hired new ones called California Environmental. They performed a second round of testing a couple months ago. They found much higher levels of contaminants in the soil and contamination in the groundwater, higher than what anybody expected, considering that DTSC had already said, based on Welch's monitoring wells, that they expected very low levels of groundwater contamination. So bringing us to the past couple weeks, on August 9th, the developer submitted a testing proposal to DTSC, but we found a lot of inadequacies with that plan. For instance, they were not going to do any further testing for vapors, which is the most serious and most concerning and the highest levels they found. They described the vapors characterization as having been completed by that first round of testing, but it clearly wasn't. They had a really laughable conceptual site model that was a drawing of just a rectangle with another rectangle saying this is an area that's contaminated. It wasn't detailed at all. They are only proposing 3 groundwater monitoring wells along the southern border of the property, which is closest to neighbors, but farthest from where they've already identified contaminated groundwater on the property, which sounds to us like a way of appeasing neighbors without actually doing a thorough investigation and putting groundwater monitoring wells where they already know they're unlikely to find more contamination. There's no off-site testing in this plan. They haven't tested the water deep enough to know if there's contamination below the groundwater. So PCE and TCE, when they reach groundwater, they sink below the groundwater. They're heavier than water. And then they can continue to off-gas from below the groundwater, but they haven't tested deep enough below the groundwater to know if that is the situation here, and they're not proposing to do that. This test had no further testing in the areas that already showed the most pollution, and it's only logical that once you identify where there is pollution, to further your investigation of that pollution. So we wrote a long letter to DTSC about these concerns. A few days later, on August 24th, DTSC replied saying they agreed with many of our points and that they would be making recommendations to the developers' environmental consultants to change their proposal. They said they would require vapor testing. They said they would require them to remove some language that the developers had put in there, assuming what kind of cleanup methods would be satisfactory. And of course, it's too soon to make those judgment calls. But they didn't say that they would require changing the location of the groundwater monitoring wells and a few other points that I still find objectionable. Then on August 25th, some of you may have received this letter from Jessica Swan at DTSC. They sent out to the community work notices saying that work would begin on August 31st in the neighborhood to test the property for more contamination. This was strange because at this point we had just submitted our comments to DTSC. DTSC hadn't sent us any response as to, they had said this brief email saying they agreed with some of our points, but they hadn't sent us a revised testing plan from the developer. So apparently they were scheduling this work before having approved whatever that new testing proposal was. And indeed, it wasn't until August 27th, 2 days after we received that work notice, that the developer submitted their revised testing proposal to DTSC at 4:30 in the afternoon on a Friday. So DTSC didn't get a chance to begin review of that document until August 30th on a Monday, when the work was already supposed to start the next day, at Tuesday at 8 a.m. Which means that they had already sent out notices to the community and apparently given the developer the green light before they had officially reviewed their testing proposal or given it their seal of approval. It wasn't until late in the day on August 30th that they actually gave it their approval. And of course, testing began on August 31st at 8 a.m. in the morning. And it's been continuing this week. So we're still reviewing that new testing plan because of course we didn't get it until the day before testing started. It's 648 pages. And it is scheduled, according to DTSC, for 4 weeks instead of the original 4 days that they had proposed several weeks ago. Those are good signs, but of course, that's a lot of document pages to weed through to find what changes they did make compared to the original document. We're concerned that they haven't changed the location of these groundwater monitoring wells, that they're not at the points where the highest contamination is already confirmed, that they're not requiring or proposing any testing at Hillside Elementary School. One of the things about these vapors is that once they hit groundwater, which is about 30 feet below the surface, they follow the groundwater. But when they're below the groundwater or above the groundwater as vapors, they can move in any direction at all. And they're likely to take the paths most preferable, which are often underground utility pipes. You know, wherever there's a road built, then there's going to be asphalt under the, or like gravel under the asphalt that makes it more conducive for vapors to travel. And of course, Hillside Elementary, they can even travel uphill. They're vapors, they rise. So Hillside Elementary is across the street. It's possible that there's no contamination. It's also possible that there is contamination. The foundation of that building, those buildings are from the 30s and the 40s. They're likely to have cracks in the concrete. And we know that the kids and teachers were sickened by this contamination when Welch's was active, you know, back in the 80s. So we think that it's really, really sensible and necessary to test the school, test the soil, test the classroom air. School just started this month again, and you know, they're not proposing any testing at all off-site. And of course, there are neighbors that live all around the site also. So that's where we stand now. Apparently, because of this new testing plan, it'll be up to 4 weeks from now that they complete the testing, and then it could be another 4 weeks that they'll share before they share the testing results with DTSC. So we could be as long as, at this point, like 7 weeks out from learning the testing results. But of course, as soon as we do, we're eager to share those with the neighborhood.
Thank you.
Sure. Michael, thank you. And then all of the data, all the facts, they're available on the EnviroStore site. We have a link on our supplementary documents. But Michael, if people want to see all of the associated files with this case, what website should they go to?
I've been maintaining a website, Save Avenue 34. We've got some links on there, and we'll be updating that also. But the link to the EnviroStore is the place to find the documents from both the developers and DTSC. We've done some PRA requests, and they've complied with those PRA requests. So there's actually, if you comb through the community involvement tab for this site, you'll find several documents that are a whole trove of emails between the developer and DTSC. And it was through that Public Records Act request that we were able to figure out that the developer had intended to use this letter back in November to satisfy the city's requirements and avoid any testing at all.
Oh my. Well, with that, can we parlay this into the next item? Because there's no action on this item, but the next item
it was just an announcement. Yeah, I think we should go into, because I think the board members would have questions on this one.
Yeah, I mean, okay, and then we can take a break after this one, right? Okay, item F, new agenda items, discussion and possible action.
I have a question on the last item.
Richard?
Yes, I wanted to ask Michael and also this council that since it's not just Hillside, but Loretto and Nightingale, they also appear on the routes to school map, which shows kids how to get to school. They all go by this property. So regardless of these schools being open or not, we should alert them to local contaminants in the environment. And on that, I'm asking, can we partner with these schools in asking for remedial actions, at least with the presence of traffic cones, flashing barriers, and so forth, for passing school kids and local residents to recognize that they're in the vicinity of contaminants? And that's what I'm recommending to this council, to form an action, at least to partner with these schools in protecting our school kids. And also, I wanted to ask Michael, has there been any other activity on the site, like from the developer?
In the past week, they've been testing. I think they tested 3 days, or actually just 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday. They weren't there today. A few weeks ago, LADWP was scheduled to install 2 large telephone poles on the sidewalk next to the site. And I alerted DWP about the contamination because they were digging holes that were going to be 8 feet deep for these poles. And I told them, are you aware about this contamination? The most toxic concentrations were found at just 5 feet below the surface. Once I alerted LADWP, that was several weeks ago. They stopped work for that day. They filled the hole in and they have not been back.
All right, well, that's dangerous.
Right. Well, so we move on to item F then.
Well, I'm proposing a motion to do something about this by alerting the local schools and finding ways that we can partner with them. There should be, you know, kids are walking by there every day. I don't see why there isn't like tape and cones or whatever we need to alert our not only the passing school kids but local residents about the contamination on the site.
Would you like to be part of an ad hoc or something?
I think we can send it. We can send it to our land use.
Yeah.
Start from there, and then create a motion to bring it up. But I think we should start doing outreach, like Richard was saying, directly with the schools.
Okay.
But we need a better place where we can organize it a little bit better.
We haven't gotten good responses from the schools from Hillside, that's for sure. All right. So do we have a second on Richard's motion?
Yes.
All right. Board member discussion. Any board member comments?
I don't see any.
Any public comments?
Don't see any.
All right, so we'll take it for a vote. Roll call.
Sarah,
Aye. Ben,
Aye.
Fernanda, yes. Chente,
Yes.
Nancy,
Yes.
Benny,
Yes.
Didia,
Yes.
Diana,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Annalee,
Yes.
Mel,
Yes.
Victor,
Yes.
Diego,
Yes.
Gil,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Selena,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
motion carries.
all right, motion carries. Outreach for the schools in proximity to Avenue 34 site. Okay, so we'll just move on since Michael's already here, just to item F, discussion and possible action on letter and community impact statement in support of Council File 210024, Avenue 34 appeal for the project located at 135 to 153 West Avenue 34, California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA appeal, case number DIR 2019-6048 TOC SPR WDI 1A and ENV 2016-273 MND REC 1-1A. Avenue 34 appeal was unlawfully terminated by city planning and mayor. Presentation by appellant.
Before we start, I'd like to make a motion to approve the letter for the council file, a community impact statement to support council file 210024 Avenue 34 appeal.
Second.
Okay, board member discussion. Board member comments.
I have a question.
Michael should talk. Yes, Richard.
Yeah, thank you. So the board approved this project and also the Planning and Land Use Committee approved it. I'm just, I'm a little bit
You voted
torn
again.
with the, my question isn't finished yet. I'm a little bit torn with the optics of the council having approved something, and basically, for those who may not know, we had several presentations by the proponent of this project, and one thing they made very clear was that anybody who resided on the site would be offered intermediate housing as well as first shot at any new housing. These people would know, from what I understand, nobody was displaced. And the other thing I want to point out is that this project is for domestic abuse, drug abuse.
For Avenue 34, you're on the wrong topic. It's the wrong topic. It's for Avenue 34.
Oh, okay, go ahead. I'll reserve my comments for the next motion.
Michael, do you want to describe? Okay, so everybody knows this is there's a council file for the Avenue 34 CEQA appeal that was canceled by the city. It was canceled, it was tolled, TOLLED, due to COVID or whatever, but the appellants actually received, Michael should let Michael talk about it. Michael, are you here still?
Yes.
Yeah, I have the supporting documents attached too. Those letters are prominent.
Yeah, okay, so, you know, all of this information is on the city council's file management website. And so you can trace the entire timeline that I'm about to run over really quickly. But basically, the project was approved by city planning in December, late December, like 2 days before Christmas or something of 2020, following the City Planning Commission appeal hearing. And under the law, you have, it's something like 10 or 15 days to file an appeal under CEQA. And you can no longer appeal the approval of the project, but you can appeal the environmental review. So the environmental review for this project only mentioned one likely toxin of concern, and that was lead paint. And this is despite all the concerns that the neighborhood raised before this project was approved, and also, you know, the very fact that encoded in the city law for this parcel specifically is a requirement to involve the Department of Toxic Substance Control for any approval. That's a pretty big clue that the city knew that this site had a troublesome history. And of course, everything we showed in our appeal was that there's a wealth of evidence that is publicly available, that there are likely contaminants on the site. Now those contaminants have recently been confirmed. So we filed an appeal on the grounds that that environmental review neglected several key points. And under CEQA, the California Environmental Quality Act, if an environmental review does neglect publicly available information in a review of a project, a new environmental review is required. We contacted city planning for guidance on how and when to file an appeal. They answered our questions. They told us what the deadline was. They told us what the fees were. They told us where and when and how to file. We followed those instructions. We filed the appeal. We got receipts back for the payment. We got confirmation that the appeal had been filed. The file became active on the council management system. And then in March, we got a letter from somebody in the city planning department saying that our appeal was invalid because it had been filed late, and they also made some other reference to CEQA and said an actual statute number in CEQA that it was in violation of. I looked up that statute, and that statute actually supported our cause, saying that if there's any significant area that isn't covered in an environmental review, then a new environmental review must be prepared. So that was only reinforcing our position, not city planning's. And we found out that at about the same time, a few days later, Vince Bertoni, the president or the head of city planning, wrote a letter to the city council saying that because our appeal had been filed after this environmental review had been originally prepared, which by the way was back in 2016 and approved in 2017, several years before this project was even proposed, that we had applied too late for this appeal. Now I know that that is incorrect, that it is after a project is approved, not after an environmental review is approved, that the deadline for filing an appeal begins the countdown. We met that deadline, and nevertheless, city planning, who by the way is essentially the defendant in this case, was able to write a letter to city council saying you can ignore this appeal, and so far city council has. We've emailed city council asking for clarification on this, and they say they're following city planning's guidance. So far they have not scheduled an appeal.
Sorry, Michael. Can you pull up the letters, or it's a supporting document on our website, like an LHNC? It has Vince Bertoni's letter under agendas. Now you got, yeah, let's see this letter.
He's essentially saying that we filed our appeal like 3 years late.
Okay. Item F down, right there. All right. Okay, so that's Vince Bertoni's letter.
Should we open it up to board member comment? Sarah? She disappeared.
Yes, any board member comments?
We have Richard Larson.
Okay, Richard?
Yeah, so what we're seeing here is that the Vince Bertoni, the general manager of the Department of City Planning, is saying that the MND supersedes the CEQA. So there's a whole new tactic underway, which we should be aware of, and that is the California State Attorney with the AQMD wrote a 6-page letter to the city of Los Angeles claiming that their MND on a similar project in Harbor Gateway North was actually an EIR, and forced the city to go back and create an EIR for what they were claiming was an MND. And in that particular case, this whole avenue that we're discussing here could be reinvestigated. So I don't know what, I haven't seen details of this letter in front of us, but I believe we should do some research on what that California State Attorney wrote, and to use that legal argument to force the city of LA to review this MND because it's actually an EIR, and thus retain the CEQA portion of this that Vince Bertoni is trying to circle around.
Okay, thank you, Richard. Any other board member comments for discussion?
Nope, I don't see any.
Okay, any community member comments for discussion about the 734 CEQA appeal?
Pedro Ramirez.
Pedro? You unmuting him, Pedro?
Pedro, you have to unmute yourself. Let me see. I sent it again. Try it again. Pedro.
Pedro.
Hello?
Hey, hi. Hi, Pedro.
Sorry, everybody. So is this still the comment for the Avenue 34?
Yeah.
Okay, so really quickly, I just wanted to add a comment about because I've been around for a while and I've seen the way that this has gone, and I just felt like before there was a really giant disconnect between what the Planning and Land Use Committee would approve and what the actual community wanted. So it kind of feels like it was very contrary to what the community always wanted. Like we would have people who would basically yell at the Planning and Land Use Committee's face that they didn't want this, and then since only 2 or 3 people would show up, they would still approve this and let it go through. And I'm just happy that there's better representation now as to what like the actual citizens of this neighborhood wants. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Pedro. Any more public comments?
No more public comment.
Okay, that will go for a vote. Do we have a motion already to approve the letter? Was that you?
Yes.
Chris? Okay, so we have a first. Who seconded it?
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a first, we have a second. So roll call. Bernie?
Right, Sarah,
Aye, yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Fernanda, yes. Chente,
Yes.
Nancy,
Yes.
Benny,
Yes.
Lydia,
Yes.
Diana,
Yes.
Richard Larson,
Yes.
Annalee,
Yes.
Mel,
Yes.
Victor, Victor,
Yes.
Diego,
Yes.
Gil,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Selena,
Yes.
Richard Ortiz.
Yes.
It's unanimous, motion carries.
Motion carries. All right. Community impact.
Sarah, I don't know if now's the time to take a little break. If anybody,
And I want to make a, just say that the next item, we'll have to table to the next meeting. So, okay. So, yeah, anyway, let's take a break, right? Okay, so what time is it now?
what are we saying? 2 minutes?
What about till 8 o'clock? Is that okay? Yeah.
Okay, sounds
right.
good.
Let's roll. 7:56. All right.
So just for Fernie, mark down that we closed down at 7:56 and then we opened up again at 8 o'clock.
Yep.
All right. All right. So we'll be back in 4 minutes. I'll be the DJ right now.
There's a plushie that I really want to buy tomorrow.
What's a plushie? Is that like a Beanie Baby?
Sort of. The thing is, like, it's limited edition, right? And it's really popular. And I am so scared it's gonna sell out before I'm able to get to it.
What is it, Diana? Like, what is it? I want to Google it.
Okay, search up Techno Sit plushie.
You gonna be mad if I buy one and get it and you don't?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Are you gonna be able to get it in time is the thing.
No.
You know what I did? I still sleep with my Cabbage Patch Kid. That's the first edition. Cabbage Patch Kids that people rioted over in 1981.
Wow.
I didn't like it.
But yeah, I am like so nervous for tomorrow. I would
Techno Sit, like SIT, Techno Sit.
Yeah, SIT and then plushie.
How cute is it, that little pig?
Yeah, it's a little pig. There are 3 of them. I'm getting the one that's sitting down.
It's cute. I hope you get it.
Thank you. I have 3 alarms on my phone. I have my friends to ping me when it actually happens. And I have a message written on my arm, literally right here.
Don't get that tattooed on yourself.
No worries, I won't. It's in Sharpie. See?
Oh yeah. Oh nice. Cool.
I'm wondering if it happened already because I'm looking at the website and it says sold out.
Oh no. It hasn't been released yet.
Oh, I was
limited edition.
Yeah, for those that are wondering what it is, it's there.
No, that one's the wrong one. That's the Techno Plain one. That one sold out in 2 minutes, which is why I'm worried.
Oh,
is it like it's a doll? It's
yeah.
Like you were getting a claw machine, right? Like
sort of.
Okay.
It's merch specifically from my favorite streamer.
Are you planning on selling it or just keeping it?
No, I'm keeping it. I am keeping it. Nobody is gonna buy it from me. They're gonna have to rip it from my cold dead hands.
That's right.
There are some grown men who have their action figures in boxes.
Oh yeah, bro. The collectors are insane. They have entire rooms dedicated to their collections.
Yeah, you should play with your toys.
I have a huge baby Yoda. You guys want to see?
Yeah.
Okay, just a minute.
Do not take mine.
Obviously, I'm taking mine. So, for reference, this is how tall, this is how big I am. This is how big this is.
That's a Pikachu, right?
I know, right? It's a huge baby Yoda.
George, look at this big baby Yoda. Diana, will you hold it up to the camera again? I want to show my kid.
Oh my god, that is ginormous.
That's so cute.
Oh, what is that?
Baby Yoda.
Oh.
Yoda from Star Wars?
Yeah, Star Wars. Well, technically the Mandalorian.
Oh. I'm gonna say Star Trek.
I'm gonna say release Yoda back into the wild.
Never.
All right.
But yeah, it is on site tomorrow for the plushie.
All right, we got 8 o'clock now.
All right, we got 8 o'clock. So, should I, it's back in session. Should I tap my gavel? We're back in session, right? Yeah, do we have 14 here?
Stomp on the floor. Wake up.
Wake up.
All right. I think everyone's there. Everyone came back with food.
Put on your video cameras real quick so we can see you. You're here. Oh yeah, nice. Oh yeah, hi. Good looking folks. Excellent. Okay, so we're at quorum. Let's see, right? We need to verify.
We have quorum 17.
Okay, ready? Okay, so now we're gonna just roll with the next item. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I lost my thing.
We're on item G.
Here we go. So item G, we have to table to the next meeting because the tenants had to work. So I didn't mention that at the beginning, but we're gonna, I motion now to skip this item. I guess, do we have to vote?
Well, we just have to, there's no objection to the.
Unless there's no objection, we're just going to skip this item. Is there any objection? Hearing none, we will move on to item item H. Item H. Vince, can you pull up this council file or this supporting document, the CIS? I want the board to see this. All right, item H. Discussion and possible action on letter and community impact statement opposing council file 13-0933 arts development fee ADF update. So Cedillo was the first, De Leon seconded it. It's a Cedillo motion. It's a CD1 reallocating $37,000 of CD1 Arts development funds, $26,000 from Lincoln Heights 4th of July event / Northeast Car Show to fund Gil Cedillo's 2021 Latin Jazz Festival, which already has $120,000 in funding. So that would make his jazz festival have 150 whatever something $1,000. The arts development fees come from developers. They pay into a fund with the DCA or something, and these funds are supposed to be allocated to the communities in which these developments are. In this case, these funds came from various developments in Lincoln Heights, which are you'll be able to see in the supplementary documents here. So Vince, at the bottom of this community impact statement, I have the supplementary documents attached within this PDF. There we go. So there's the motion.
What I'll do so we can get more into discussion with it is just
Yeah, let's roll. So
motion to approve the letter and community impact statement opposing council file 130933 arts development fee update Cedillo de Leon CD1 reallocating 37,000 of CD1 art development fund, 26 from Lincoln Heights 4th of July event Northeast Car Show to fund Gil Cedillo's 2021 Latin Jazz Festival, which already has 121,000 in funding. Second.
Second.
Okay.
Okay, Steve.
Okay. Board discussion.
We have Richard Larson.
Richard.
Yes, thank you. I would hope this meeting could be run better. I've had my hand up for about 17 minutes now. When board members raise their hand, they're not just talking about themselves, they're talking for their community, and when you ignore them, you're ignoring basically 30,000 people.
You commented on the last item and you're commenting now on this item. Continue.
Well, you're also muting me. So I had my hand up and now you're muting me, but I wanted to respond to the last item on a public comment, and I wanted to re-inform our community who's here as attendees that as chair of the Planning and Land Use Committee, that particular project was voted down every single time it came up the developer didn't show up for 3 of the meetings, and the
you're not a voter.
impression, you're interrupting me.
This
I
is
have the
not on that
floor.
item anymore.
I have the floor and you're interrupting me. Thank you very much.
Had your opportunity during public.
No, I did not. I had my hand up for 10
Yes, you
minutes
did.
and I was ignored.
Richard, I'm the chair.
No, I'm sorry. It doesn't matter if you're the chair or not. You ignored my hand and you're not running this meeting properly.
We had a break and then we moved on to the next item.
No, my hand was up before that.
I did not open it to public comments because I moved to table that item to the next thing.
This wasn't a public comment. This was a comment during the
You want
during
to
the
discuss
vote.
that item, it's not on the agenda. It's not up for discussion right now.
Well, it was, and my hand was up, and you ignored me. I'm just saying I don't think this meeting is being run properly, and I wanted to defend the council itself.
Point of order, Richard.
Just point of order.
We never.
Okay, I'm going to warn you. A second.
We never voted for that project, and.
Point of order, Richard. That's your second warning, and third warning, you're removed. So.
And.
All right. All right. So
this is on. We're still on item H, and it was the motion to approve it. We're on public. Board member comment.
Gil Cedillo, reallocating the funds. So any board member comments about this money being moved around? Let's read the. Can you make the document bigger, Vince? Can you zoom in on it? Zoom in on it on your screen so it's bigger. Or is it my screen that's small?
Okay, is it better now?
Yeah, it's better. Okay. So these are just the supplementary documents, but if you scroll down, Vince, it shows actually the money and where it's coming from. Okay, keep going. Doodle-oodle-oo. Okay, so stop. Let's see. Okay, keep going. I mean, has some of it. Keep going. Okay, so CD1, okay, so Northeast Car Show. It was supposed to be, okay, so these are at the bottom. These are the projects where they received money from developers to go into this arts fund for Lincoln Heights. Or for the area. Okay, so Nod Street, where the raves are, they had to pay $11,000 into this fund. Avenue 33, the Gertmenium property had to pay $1,500 into this fund. Or I guess it totals $10,553. So he's taking that money from this car show and putting it into the Jazz Fest. And Vince, if you scroll down again to the last page here.
This is the last page?
Oh, okay, go up. Is there one for the Jazz Fest? Oh, here's the Latin Jazz Festival. Now it's interesting because on this motion, it mentions, we'll see it when we scroll to the top, but it says the money's being reallocated from the Lincoln Heights 4th of July Festival. But that's actually not listed on any of these DCA documents or any, I don't know where that came from, but in any case, these are the this is the amount of money he has already for the Jazz Fest. So Vince, can you scroll up to the top to the community impact statement? We're simply asking that he not put this money into the Jazz Fest and that he actually invested in programming within Lincoln Heights community. So
I think we asked for just anybody that has board member comment.
Board member comments.
I don't see any on my end.
Okay, any stakeholder comments? Any public comments?
We have one, Pedro Ramirez.
Pedro?
Hi, good afternoon. I have a question. Where does Cedillo hold his jazz festival?
It would be at Sycamore Park or Sycamore Grove Park in Highland Park. Where the workout.
That's kind of a ways from Lincoln Heights, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he wants to steal 27,000 grand from our community so that he can have his little jazz festival up in Highland Park.
That's what it looks like.
Just classic Cedillo being Cedillo, right?
Then show the motion. Can you scroll down to the first motion, the Cedillo de Leon one? Okay, stop. Okay, so that's the motion by Cedillo.
Is the Lincoln Heights 4th of July event the one that we have here at Lincoln Park?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're only spending 13 grand, or I don't know how much we're spending on the 4th of July event, but he'd rather take money from that than to put it into a Latin jazz festival for Highland Park. This is ridiculous. I want to call bullshit on all of this and say that this is just him appeasing to all the people in Highland Park again and just doing the shit that he always does. That's why his office is up there. That's all.
All right. Thank you, Pedro.
Thank you, Pedro.
Any other public comments?
Not seeing any.
Okay, so we'll go take this for a vote. Fernie, can you do roll call, please?
Sarah,
Aye.
Ben,
Yes.
Fernanda, yes. Shante,
Yes.
Nancy,
Yes.
Benny,
Yes.
Didia,
Yes.
Diana,
Look in the bottom drawer.
Ranali,
Yes.
Mel,
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Victor,
Yes.
Diego,
Yes.
Gil,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Selena,
Yes.
Richard Ortiz.
See.
It's unanimous, motion carries.
Motion carries. Community impact statement will be sent in reference to the Jazz Fest. All right, so we move on to the next item real quick. All right, item I. Discussion and possible action on letter and community impact statement opposing Council File 201376S1 and 201376S2. Unlawful sitting, lying, sleeping, unlawful personal property storage, use, maintenance, private property, prosecutorial diversion program, LA Municipal Code Amendment. Biscayno and Lee wrote this. Ordinance amending the Los Angeles Municipal Code to specify the particular times and locations where it shall be unlawful for a person to sit, lie, sleep, or to store, use, maintain, or place personal property in the public right-of-way. So this is the amendment that's most recent. This is the Biscayno one. He's trying to change the LA Municipal Code to add this. At no time shall any person who has been offered shelter, blocking my thing, offered shelter, sit, lie, or sleep in or upon any street, sidewalk, or other public right-of-way or publicly owned property. Violations of this section may be eligible for referral to any applicable prosecutorial-led diversion program.
So on this one, I want to make a motion to approve the letter and community impact statement opposing Council File 201376S1 and 201376S2. Unlawful sitting, lying, sleeping, unlawful personal property storage, use of maintenance, private property.
Do we have a
Is there a
second?
Second?
Second.
No second.
We'll put Diego a second.
Okay, Diego. All right. If you scroll down, there are actually two more council files attached to it that are really elaborate. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and if people want to see it, remember we have these on our website because I know I'm going a little bit fast and I know even I get sick seeing it go up.
And right here, it's saying like no sleeping within so many feet of a school, within so many feet of a driveway, a freeway, anywhere. Basically, you can't sleep or sit or loiter or be anywhere in the city of LA on the public sidewalk.
So we open it to board comment.
If they offer you a bed. Board member comments?
Gilbert?
Yes,
Sorry. Sorry.
Gilbert?
I'm okay. they have some, they're saying, of course, with the billing of or offering and everything else like that of housing and all that kind of stuff, they continue to have something to try and house the unhoused, as they refer them to. And I think they've done quite a lot in that regard. And I believe that this gives them some teeth to approach the individuals and offer them, and if they refuse, then they could go ahead and go with this. I think it's something that's going to have to be addressed in the future. We shouldn't have sleeping and all, sitting and all this kind of stuff in public ways. So I think it's a step that they might have to take in order to expedite and be able to complete the process of taking care of the unhoused.
Vince, could you scroll up to the community impact statement? So, oh no, actually, it's another item. It's not attached to these files. There would be another item on there, but basically, the city has misappropriated so many millions of dollars of HHH funds. And even that operation, what was it, room key, door key, the hotel thing, the FEMA money. Anyway, so I mean,
no, and I
talks about the public property, for instance, the public assets, municipal land that's not being utilized, for instance, the jail and general hospital, and there's so much land that could be used for parking RVs. Whatever, but it's just not being used. The city's not using it. The land that is belongs to the people, to serve the people. That's what this statement is kind of about.
No, and I agree. Oh, hold on. There's people in line. I'll talk after Diego.
Okay, Diego. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I mean, I just wanted to say that I read the Buscaino motion. I couldn't even finish it because it was it was absolutely glaring in terms of how contradictory the city is approaching homelessness. Homelessness is an intersectional issue. There's mental health issues associated with homelessness, but also lack of affordable housing, gentrification, just so many reasons why our city's struggling with this issue. And even Buscaino mentions that the city has only built 2,500 supportive housing units with over 40,000 unhoused population. And this motion just criminalizes our community members who don't have the privilege of having a roof over their heads. So I implore the council to approve this CIS because it is well written and it really articulates the unhoused issue that we're all struggling with at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Diego.
Melanie?
Thanks, Diego. That was so well put. Yeah, I want to add, we're going to be losing some, not only unemployment benefits, but also eviction protection. We're going to see probably a big increase in the number of unhoused residents that we have in our community. So I think the last thing that we need to do is further traumatize them by criminalizing them once again. So yeah, in total agreement with everything Diego just said.
Thank you, Mel. And I just want to close with it too. It's a poor attempt for the city when you look at the tactics that they used, the mismanagement of funding with nonprofits that are paying themselves $200,000 to $300,000 a year of that taxpayers' money is a gross use of public funds. But we also have a judge, Judge Carter, a federal judge, that put an order in because the city failed to provide housing. It continues to fail to provide housing. If the numbers come out right, the first $1 billion that has been spent, we probably spent somewhere in the neighborhood of at least 80% on transitional housing and bridge housing. That is not permanent. It would be a total waste of our money on what we've done so far by not solving the homelessness the houseless situation with some of our residents. I think you know, this council file and opposing it is just a step, but for them to criminalize it, you know, we have to wake up, because traditionally people have always looked at these to be just trouble folks. And like Mel said, when we lose these COVID renter, you know, reliefs or the moratorium, you're going to be having mothers out there with their children, families, people that we normally wouldn't see, friends and families. We just don't know it yet because most people don't step up when they have financial issues. So it's definitely going to be an eye-opener for all of us, and I don't see it going away in the near future, even though I hope one day that we can solve it. But I think this letter and our part doing what we can here is good. So thanks.
Thank you, Vince. Any other board member comments?
Nope.
Okay, any public comments?
We got Pedro.
Pedro?
Hi, I just have a quick statement, and my statement is this obviously is just another form of systemic oppression against, you know, the immigrant working class of the Lincoln Heights neighborhood. Like, it starts off with, we hike up the rent, we price everybody out. Everywhere in this city, they're doing that. They hike us up, they price us out. Then when we lose our homes, we get thrown into the street, and now they're putting this shit, and they're saying that we're all criminals because now we're quote unquote disturbing the residents. Well, the residents are already on the streets and being thrown out and being pushed out of their neighborhoods, but now they're being looked at as criminals so that you can have your little buildings like 34 and the Brine be built in place of that, so that these developers can make money, all because they're putting money into the back pockets of people like Jose Huizar and Gil Cedillo.
Okay. Thank you, Pedro.
Man.
All right, any other public comments?
Don't see any.
Okay, we're going to take it to a vote. Secretary Sanchez, can you please do roll call?
Sarah,
Yeah, I want to repeat, the motion is to approve the community impact statement. So yes.
Sarah,
Oh, yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Miranda, yes. Chente,
Yes.
Nancy,
Yes.
Benny,
Yes.
Didia,
Yes.
Diana,
Abstain.
Brianna, Mel,
Yes.
Victor,
Yes.
Diego,
Yes.
Gil,
Abstain.
Steve,
Yes.
Selena,
Yes.
Richard Ortiz,
Yes.
Deanna Lee's trying to come back.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. 2 abstains, motion carries.
Okay, motion carries. Community impact statement will be submitted against the Buscano motion of no sleeping or sitting on the sidewalk. Okay, so we'll move on to, one of the last community impact statements. Item J, discussion and possible action on letter and community impact statement in support of Council File 200980. Approval revocation / development projects and project applications / corruption or fraud / amendment. City Attorney Mike Foyer. Ordinance adding Article 1.3 to Chapter 1 of the LA Municipal Code to establish a procedure for the City Council to revoke approvals of development projects and terminate project applications tainted by corruption or fraud. So
I'll make a motion to approve the letter and the community impact statement in support of Council File 200980.
Second.
Second.
all right, board, Vince, could you pull up the community impact statement? It's, yeah, I have it a little separate. Okay. I wrote for if amended on this. I guess I'll just preface this like Mike Feuer's asking City Council to monitor itself.
So this is to support, right? The council file.
It's to support it if it amends it to make it even harsher, like an outside agency.
So on this one, the only thing that I look on community impact statements when we get put in the situation to use the word amend is a lot of times it's almost like saying we support it as long as you support our amendments to it.
Okay.
But it still shows up as a support of the council file.
So it'll just be support.
Support as written.
That's one of the options I can choose. I guess, yeah, support as written.
Because most of the time, like this is the way I feel about it.
Asking
When
him to be harsher. I'm just.
Yeah. Well, I'm just looking at how he wrote the motion.
Yeah.
And we always know that they're not going to write it in a way that will give it any teeth to hold them. It's like asking the wolf to write the rules of the hen house, right?
Right.
And so that's why I don't trust them, and sometimes these are where the militant letters come out, where we have to say unless there is X and X and X. When's the deadline for this one to be submitted?
It's funny because it was introduced over a year ago, I think August 2020. There is no upcoming date for it. And the only recent action on it has been there are about 2 or 3 other community impact statements attached to the council file. But Mike Boyer has made a couple drafts of this. So he'll probably make another draft. But yeah, maybe we should set a list of conditions. Maybe wait on this one. What do you think?
I would say continue it, and then we can send it in with some good wording conditions, and then add the word amended.
Okay.
If done. But also put on there that if none of our amendments are there, then make sure it's a no, and we'll have to redo another council file as a total opposition to it.
Yeah, I would hate to just support this. Just adding fuel to the self-regulatory whatever freak show.
Okay. So we should continue it. Is there any opposition to continue?
Okay. Any opposition to continue this? Seeing none, no. So we shall continue this in the next meeting, right?
Yeah.
For future agenda.
I'll just say this for the record, then I'll retract my motion for it. The item's been continued to the next general board meeting, general stakeholder meeting.
Continue to the next general board meeting. All right, so with that, we'll move on to item K. Discussion and possible action on removal of Vicente Gonzalez Reyes as chair of Outreach Committee and the appointment of Nancy Soto as chair of Outreach Committee.
So I'll make the motion to support the removal of Vicente Gonzalez Reyes as chair of Outreach Committee and appoint Nancy Soto as chair of Outreach Committee.
Do the second?
Second?
I second.
Richard seconds.
Okay. Board discussion?
Ortiz.
I don't see any.
All right, public discussion, public questions, comments?
I don't see any.
All right, so we'll take it to a vote.
We have one, Selena.
Selena, yeah.
Hi, just had a question. Did Vicente not want to do that anymore, or is it out of his hands?
Well, as the president has the power to appoint or take people off of the committees. Vicente hasn't, he's been absent for a lot of the general board meetings. And so I just chose to, we need an outreach chair that's actually present. So that's my decision.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah, it's nothing personal with Vicente. It's great. It's just about availability. Yeah. So any other board member questions? Comments?
Not seeing any.
Any public comments? No?
Not seeing any.
All right, so we'll take it to a vote. So we're voting, so are we voting on the removal of him and then voting for Nancy?
It's
Sept-
it's one solid motion. The
Okay,
removal of Vicente Gonzalez Reyes as chair of the outreach committee and appointing Nancy Soto
okay,
as chair of the outreach committee.
all right, so, yeah, so we'll take it for a vote now. Fernie?
Sarah,
Yes?
Ben,
Yes.
Fernanda, yes. Gente,
Yes.
Nancy,
Yes.
Benny,
Yes.
Didia,
Yes.
Diana,
Yes.
Annalee,
Yes.
Mel,
Yes.
Victor,
Yes.
Diego,
Yes.
Gil,
Yes.
Steve,
Yeah.
Selena,
Yes.
Richard Ortiz.
See.
Unanimous, motion passes.
Motion carries. Nancy is the new chair of Outreach Committee. All right, so then we'll move on to the last item. Discussion and possible action. Now, this is item HIJKL. Discussion and possible action on the appointment of Victor Azanado as co-chair of LHNC Programs and Services Committee.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the appointment of Victor Acenedo as co-chair of Lincoln Heights Programs and Service Committee.
I second.
Okay, so board member discussion.
Benny?
Just curious, who is the chair of the committee?
It's Gil.
Oh, it's Gil. Okay. Thanks.
I don't see any more board member comment.
Nothing, nobody else? No board member comment?
No, I see a lot of anxious fingers on the end of meetings.
I think that Victor will do a great job. Yeah, so any public comments? Very good.
I don't see any public comment.
All right, so let's take it to a vote.
Sarah,
Yes.
Ben, Fernanda, yes. Chente,
Yes.
Nancy,
Yes.
Benny,
Yes.
Ben, yes.
Ben, yes. Didia,
Yes.
Diana,
Yes.
Annalee,
Yes.
Mel,
Yes.
Victor,
Yes.
Diego,
Yes.
Gil,
Ooh.
Steve,
Yes.
Selena,
Yes.
Richard Ortiz.
Yeah.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Congratulations, Victor, the new Programs and Services co-chair. All right, with that,
I'll make the motion that everybody wants to hear. I make the motion.
I want to stay. I want to keep this meeting going.
Well, you're outvoted democratically here.
Okay. Let's see if you get a second on your motion.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn our meeting.
Yes.
Second.
Second.
All right. Well,
Second.
any in opposition? All right, so motion carries. So this meeting is adjourned. Thank you for everybody coming to the meeting tonight.
Yes, thank you for staying and keeping it up. You guys are keeping that community going, and without you, no one can do it. So have a good night.
Bye. Next time I'll update you on whether I bought the plushie or not.
Good luck tomorrow, Diana.
Thank you. I'll
guys.
eat it.